I'm creating a city to get better with the Axiom mod on Java. Today I'm working on the other side of the river, building the first towers in the city as well as the stunning road following the bay. This is a good one, let's sit back in Minecraft. It's been a little while since we worked on this project. It's looking quite good in all fairness. This is the Axiom city that we're starting and this is all that we've done. This is all in episode 1 and thank you very much for all the positive feedback from the first episode. That's really appreciated. I didn't expect you guys to enjoy this so much, so I'm sorry that I'm just doing it now. But I think what we're going to do now is work on this side of the water. And something that I was thinking as well, we've got this kind of cove over this side. Imagine if we were to get a road that comes along this beach and swoops around there and then swoops around that way as well. I think that's the plan for today, but we need to try and create a road for that first of all, because we've got this kind of test piece here which we use to create this road, but we need something slightly smaller because it's like a main sort of highway, motorway, boulevard type road. We need something just like a regular city street. And so to make this road, what we're going to do is we're just going to copy basically what we've got here and just replicate it over this side. And so I think this could kind of be our cross section. And so we're going to go to this tool and we're going to change it to the, I believe it's the stack tool. In fact, no, it's the extrude tool. There we go. Look how great this is just for building quickly. And then we're just going to basically copy all this along. And then this will be our template for our road. Okay, so now that we've got our finished road, we can jump into this mode here. And we're basically going to grab the magic select. And then we're going to grab any material and just click it. And then we're going to copy it to our clipboard. So you can see it's up here now. And we're going to go to the path tool as well. And then this is basically what's going to allow us to draw in this road. So we're going to go to a, I believe it was a Bezier curve that we did. And then we're going to change it from a sphere to the custom clipboard. And it's going to start filling in our road. We had this problem the last time, so we have to go up here and then rotate this clockwise. And so now there we go, look at that. And that's actually facing the wrong way, so can I do this again? Okay, there we go, perfect. We can just start drawing in our road. This is such an amazing tool. Okay, so there we go. We've got the entire path in place now. I think it's looking quite good. And you can see exactly what I meant with the road. And then we've got this kind of cycle path as well. It just looks very clean. But this is, again, kind of like another big main boulevard. We're going to use this everywhere. So to make our life easier, we're going to jump into this mode here. And I'm just going to paste in this road that we have. And then I'll lift it up off the ground, move it over a little bit. And we can turn this into our main sort of city streets. And all we've got to do is just remove these kind of things here. And there we go. Look how quick that was. And then as well, we can even get, why don't we get a pavement in here as well? So we can bring this out and bring it out this side as well. And then we can start trying to get a pavement. And I'm thinking get some stone stairs as well. In fact, we can turn on the replace mode so we can just quickly place these in. And the reason I'm putting these stairs here is so we've got kind of like a nice curb. And then that separates the road from the pavement. So now once again, we can get the magic select. We can get this up here, turn it around, and then we can start trying to get in a sort of grid system for the road. So we'll get the path tool out, and then we can just basically go from there and then connect it up to here. And we can just tinker about with this. We want to keep existing as well. We want to keep that on so it doesn't overwrite the road. In fact, I'm looking at this. I don't know if we want it to connect like that. We could try and make some kind of cool roundabout up here. So we're going to remove this for now. We'll just try and create another grid just in this kind of area. So there we go. There's one road, and of course we need to do a lot of fixing, but we can get that in place for now. We can get another road over here as well, and then we can join these roads up as well. We can even add a little curve so it looks slightly more unique as well. And then we can just go back into this tool and we can just remove all of the grass, and then the road will start to get exposed. I forgot how fun it is to use these tools because you can do so much so quickly. But take a look at what's happened to these stairs. That looks terrible. Let's remove the stairs. Let's go here and we're going to change it to block. I believe it's a case of just grabbing the stone and dropping it on. There we go. The tools really are crazy. So that's that entire problem fixed instantly. I thought we'd have to maybe redo everything, but no, that was easy. And I've just had an idea there. Imagine we get a slip road and we kind of curve it around and then it connects up into this main motorway. And then we can have a roundabout right there. I think that'd be quite cool. So let's make a kind of a template for a slip road. And so we can do something like this. And then we go black concrete, yellow concrete, and then 3 blocks of black concrete. And because this is only going to be 1 block thick, we then go back to yellow and then we go back to black. And then we can just extend this up. And now we've now got a slip road. We've got so many road templates templates now. And then we can just grab the magic select, grab this. That is not what I wanted. And now we can go back to that path tool. We can start making a slip road. I'd like to connect right there. And so we can just try and curve this round, kind of like that. And then right into that. So there's our kind of curve. And now we can just toy about with this and we'll get this looking something quite good. And then we'll lower this one as well into the ground and try and match up. And you know what? We'll even turn on keep existing as well. So there's our slip road. And so you can see it kind of goes up and goes round. I'm going to get that replace mode on. And then I'm just going to basically overwrite this white line there. And then this can just go back to black concrete. And we can just start removing all this. In fact, we'll keep some of it. So it's kind of turned into something like that, which I think looks not too bad. You can understand what I'm going for. And then up here, we're just going to have to try and connect. We'll paint all this as well, make it look nice and good as well. But I think here, we'll just have it go like this. And it's kind of like a giveaway. That's kind of our two entrances joined up. And then this side, we'll need to try and get a roundabout, which will be quite tricky to do. So we're going to leave that for now. Let's try and fill in this dead space here. This is the kind of thing which I think in the real world would just go to waste. And I'm not sure what you could do here. Let's try and think. I think it's the modeling. Let's get a smart surface. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're basically going to just fill in this and you'll see what it does very, very quickly. Where if I place a whole load of points, you'll see it's kind of creating a line, but then very quickly this line's going to turn into a smart surface. And so this is looking quite good, but for the likes of this side here, where we've got this big post, I kind of want to get the shape tool. Where was that? Right here. And I'm going to get just a cuboid and we're going to place that there. And we're going to separate the X, Y, and Z. And we're just going to play about with this. I'm going to rotate it as well and then lower it in the ground. And then I'm going to replace the current block. Let's just place it to orange wool so that it'd be easy to replace. I'm going to place it low down and I'm going to place one further up. We can slightly stagger it as well, so it's kind of like this, and then we can just tidy this up, and even we can start to lower it as well at this side. And then where the terrain's a bit misshapen, we can just go back over to the modeling tool and we can just do another smart surface. So there we go. And now we can just click all of this wool, and then if we go to the paint tool, we can then go to the preset which we had before, which in fact I don't think I've got one, so we're gonna have to remake it. I believe it was just tough blocks, and then we can just basically repaint that and it will look exactly the same as what's next to it. And it's so simple. And now that looks very bland right there, and so we can go to the script brush and then change it to the leafy bushes preset, and we can just start getting in some bushes. In fact, we'll make them even bigger as well. There we go. It's just so there's a little something and it's not just bland and there's nothing there. We can even let's get some grass as well, and we can just sprinkle some grass on the top as well, and then we'll remove the grass which shouldn't be there. Same with the leaves as well. We don't want them on the road, and then it kind of just leaves us with something like that, which just looks very nice now. And so I really want to work on some buildings right on this kind of front part. Same with maybe this side as well. Let's first of all connect this properly onto the road. And you know what, before we start working buildings, let's quickly paint all of this and make it look as good as the road that we've got up there. So we can go up here, magic select, let's just get the same block, and we want it to be the black concrete as well, and it should grab absolutely everything. We then go back to the painter, and then I've got a preset here as well which is called dark stone, and then we can just start painting in all of the roads and just update the surface and make it look nice and rugged and rough and just very realistic. And so even it looks so much better now. We'll even update the smooth stone as well. And then rather than using the dark stone preset, we'll use the light stone preset. And so it looks completely different now that we've just got a little bit of texture. We can even upgrade the yellow in the road as well, make that nice and worn like we've got up here. Same with the white as well. There's a lot we can do just to make little details and just make this place look so much better. But let's get some buildings in. And so we're going to keep the kind of pavement that we've got. I've just flood filled this area, so we've got some more stone. So this can kind of be like a pavement here. And so I'm just going to try and run basically just orange wool, somewhat parallel. That's not very straight. In fact, maybe it'd be better to use the curve tool, that line tool, just so we keep a uniform look across the entire pavement. We don't want it we don't want it up and down and not looking the best. And so just create something like that, which is just straight along. So we have got a pavement which is even, and we can start breaking this up into little buildings. And I say little buildings, up against this slip road, I want a massive modern building. I think that would look really cool. Now, this is my first time going to be creating a building with Axiom, so this could be interesting. But let's first and foremost, let's extend these walls all the way up, and this could be slightly This could take a while. And I think just to speed it up, we'll just connect them all. And so we'll bring all these walls up, and then that'll just kind of give us a shape and a general size of this building. I want this to be massive. I think I want only one side. I think I just want this side to be taller. And so we just kind of have this side expand up, just so it creates some kind of unique shape for the building. And look at that. That looks crazy. And now what I think we'll do is we'll add in these big white pillars along the side. I really want kind of like a verticalness to this building. I want big lines going up the way, and we can start trying to get some floors in as well. I'm going to focus on this side here first of all. There's something really drawing me to the color of green. I don't know what it is. We could replace this. We can replace it really easily as well. Why don't we remove this for now, and then we'll try and split this up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll place a couple. We'll place one block, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a block there, and then that leaves us with a little gap there, which I think should be fine. And then we can just extend these up maybe 5 blocks like that, and then we'll get another band in along the entire length of this thing, and we can start to remove all of these big holes here. And I'm gonna change the lime glass. Let's change it to gray glass, and then in this little space here we can just have gray concrete, so it kind of gives us something like that, which I don't think looks too bad. I just think it lacks a bit of depth. So there we go. I think that's a much better layout and much better looking design. So what we can do now is we can grab the magic select, and then this could be slightly tricky. We're just going to grab all of these blocks, and then we can duplicate it and then just simply move it up. It looks like I forgot to grab something. That's okay. And now we've got a second floor. We can just do that a couple more times. We'll grab even more this time as well. And it looks like I may have forgotten to grab the floor. That's okay though, because we can simply go into the flood fill, place enough spruce planks just like that, and it will fill in the entire floor. Oh no. Okay. I forgot there's no back. Now fortunately we can just Control Z and we can undo it. Panic is over. I'll tell you what, coming off of this side of this motorway, that is going to look so cool, especially when we get another building there. That is crazy, but let's just focus on finishing this one first. I'm basically just going to continue, just getting in these horizontal lines, just simply all the way around the entire building, and then we can take it from there. For the likes of these sides, I think we could... Oh, wow. Okay, I did not expect all of that. Let's undo that very quickly. That actually looked quite good. We just need to do that in a slightly better way. But in all fairness, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, take a look at this building. The first building in this city, welcoming you in. I think this has turned out quite cool. This is not a style which I build in. If you've seen my survival series or any other video on the channel, you see that I do it in my Bedrock survival world, which is basically made to look like an 1800s city, a Victorian era city. So this is completely different to what I'm used to. There's of course going to be another building right there, so I'm not too worried about this side. And I had thoughts here. We could have a building here, and I think we will, but we could also have this kind of being like a little plaza. But yeah, it's the first building which welcomes you in the city. That's quite impressive, and it didn't even take that long to build thanks to the tools that Axiom give. There are just a couple things which I want to do just to tidy it up, and I think it'll make it look a lot better. Just a little bit like that. This is definitely a building which, you know, is going to be recognizable to this sort of waterfront. Let's also try and get a building here on this side as well, and to do that I think I'm just going to follow the exact same method that I did to make that building. I'm just going to extend this red wall all the way along. And I think we're going to use a lot of brick. Let's first of all get the magic select, and let's turn off up and down, and then we can just grab an entire layer. I'm going to turn that into brick. In fact, let's grab a lot of layers, just the first number, and we can just turn them all into brick. Might even grab a little more as well. And then now we've got that, we can even go into the painter tool and then have a mix between brick and granite as well. And then we can just start painting in a whole load of texture, which is looking pretty good as well. And then I really want these kind of big industrial corners on the side, kind of something like that. Maybe not, that doesn't look too good. And in fact, I think what would be better, we get this and we just trying to do a big ring around the top. So now that we've got that, we can then head back into this screen as well, and then we'll get in a floor as well. So we'll use the flood fill, and we'll make this spruce wood as well. In fact, let's go for birch, and then we can just start grabbing some of these layers as well. We'll grab around that much, change it to brick, and then use that painter tool as well just to repaint these. And then we can start getting in some big windows. And like to this building, I don't want it to be too fancy. I just kind of want something which will work and look quite good. And so now that we've got that layer up at the top, we can just paste in it again, and then we line it up, and then we should just be able to paste it in just like that. And there is some red wool still poking through. That's okay, we can always replace that, and we'll go for one more layer as well. And so it gives us a building that kind of looks like that, which I'm quite happy with. Let's get some of the magic select in here as well. Let's grab all that red wool, and then we can just start painting it over. And now we've got a building which, in all fairness, it doesn't look too bad. We can also just get another trim along the top as well. And so now we've got that kind of trim in it. We can then just get the flood tool and then flood in the roof. We've got another finished building, which it does, it's more my style. There's not much of a downstairs, so we can fix that as well. But the skyline, there's now a skyline. And I'm not going to be doing interiors for many of these buildings. They're meant to just look good, because you're going to be taking a view of the city, and it's going to be from far away. And just little bits of detail, I don't think it's worth spending that much time on. Take a look at this view. When you're driving over this bridge, you can now see that on your left. This gets me excited to continue to work on this city. If you want another video, please let me know down below. Thank you very much.